So against other pennies, definitely don't use your mortar. That's one thing you don't want to do.
As a
I'd also,
defensive, wait, you're not supposed to use it as a defensive tower?
as a defensive tower, no.
Oh, shoot, okay. So what you're saying is I'm actually not half bad.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, whatever, Kairos. Hello, fellow brawlers. I'm KairosTime, and it is time to brawl. Today we've got another special guest for you. It's been a while since we've done continued with this series, but we've got my Lonto here as as a freaking amazing Penny, right? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Very good. Hey, so let's see. Let's go ahead and start off with this, talking a little bit about. Now, you were #1 with Penny last season, correct?
Yes.
And how many trophies did you eventually reach when you were playing with her last season?
So my record is 928.
That's insane. You know, I just barely got my Penny to 500.
Oh, wow.
So I think you're like double what I've got, which is great. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here, first of all, so last season, were you playing a lot of different brawlers, or were you just focusing primarily with Penny?
I would say I played mostly Penny, but I did play a couple other brawlers every now and then.
Okay, cool. So why Penny?
I don't really know. I guess just one time something sparked, and I just realized that Penny was like my brawler and was going to be my brawler.
Was that something, the balance change, that made her width wider?
No, I don't think so, actually. That was probably part of it.
Yeah,
But
I'm like, that's what sparked for me.
yeah.
I don't know about you or what other people are thinking, but do you think that Penny is like ridiculously strong right now, or how do you feel she is at the moment?
I'd say she's pretty strong, but I don't feel like she's the strongest brawler right now. Like, if you look at Spike, he's just ridiculously strong. Now, Penny is very strong. I feel like her mortar could deal with like a slight nerf along with her main attack.
A lot of people have been talking about like how Penny is kind of like a total replacement for Jessie recently, because now her shot width is the exact same, but she does more damage, she shoots faster. Do you feel like she is a replacement for Jessie? Like, or what are your thoughts on that?
I would say that, yeah, she's definitely a replacement for Jessie. I pushed Jessie as well to about 700, and yeah, I can definitely see why people are saying that, because Penny, with her splash attack, can just deal way more damage, and it is a way more devastating attack than Jessie's normal attack.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and go through here first of all and kind of talk about which maps or which game modes she's really great on. Gem grab, yes or no for gem grab?
Definitely yes.
Okay, cool. And typically as a mid gem carrier, right?
Yes, definitely.
Do you ever play her as a side brawler?
Not really.
Okay. Solo showdown, is she good in solo showdown?
Nah, I would only say 1,000 Lakes. Other than that, definitely not.
Okay. How about duo showdown?
Duo showdown, yes, on pretty much every map except for a select few.
Okay. Are there any particular brawlers that pair very well with her?
I would say on like longer range maps like 1,000 Lakes and Double Trouble, I would say Piper is very, very good, or a Brock. And then for other maps, like on Skull Creek, I would usually use maybe like a Tara with her.
Okay, cool. And then Heist, is she good on Heist?
So, yes and no. I pushed her in GG Corral, and this is actually where I pushed a lot of trophies with her. I used Bull, Barley, and Penny, and we won pretty much every single one of our games, and we were playing really, really good people.
Yeah. Well, I guess GG Corral's kind of a special one because she has so many different walls that she can put her turret behind. Do you feel like that's what was the difference for her, or do you think that you guys just kind of were so skilled that it kind of overpowered everybody?
I feel like it was definitely the walls and the mortar that was benefiting my team.
Okay, cool. How about Brawl Ball?
With the Brawl Ball, most likely no, except you could possibly play her on Triple Dribble. Now, I don't remember the exact comp because I only played her a few games, but there was a comp that people were pushing with, and it was okay, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. Then Bounty.
Definitely yes.
Yeah, she's a fun one in Bounty. I like her in Bounty. Okay, so Penny, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think she used to be one of the hardest brawlers to push, but now, with her recent buff, I think she's a little bit easier. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being hardest brawler to push in the game, 10 being absolute easiest brawler to push in the game, where do you think she falls in line?
I'd say she falls at about an 8,
Okay.
because, of course, there's some game modes where you can't play her, But in the game modes that she can be played in, she's very, very strong on most maps.
Okay.
So, and plus she's a very, very strong brawler right now. She's probably in the top 5, I definitely say.
I would agree with that. So gem grab and bounty, she's like an awesome choice all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and kind of back things up a little bit and talk about some beginner tips with Penny, okay? What would be the first tips that you would give to a new player who maybe just recently unlocked Penny or is just kind of figuring her out?
So with Penny, the most important thing is to use her mortar. Her mortar is incredibly game-changing and can really, really benefit you in the beginning and in late game as well.
So basically your suggestion there is to try and get her mortar up as fast as possible then?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What are your tips for mortar placements then? How often do you place it kind of back? I mean, obviously behind a wall,
Mm-hmm,
but
definitely.
how far do you place it back versus like an offensive position, a little bit more moved up?
So I would say if the opposing team's comp is very strong and can counter yours very well, you want to play a more defensive mortar.
Okay.
But if you can push up against the enemy team, then definitely a more aggressive mortar.
Okay. So what are some of your tips for anybody that kind of wants to become really great at Penny? You know, like I just got my Penny to 500 and I'm thinking, okay, I'm okay. I can do that. But to be really great with Penny, what do I need to do to get better?
I'd say find some good teammates. Not teammates that will like carry you, but teammates that can help you out. Because Penny is not very strong when using her main attack unless her targets line up. So dealing low damage with her and getting the assist from a teammate is very useful.
So I guess you could also kind of reverse those roles where you're paying attention a lot to what other teammates are doing so that you can get those assists as well?
Yes.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So she's not really like a finisher. She's kind of like just kind of like a consistent helping out, I guess.
Yeah, just deal some chip damage and try to get the other brawlers low so that your teammates can finish them off.
Okay. What's the best way for you to use Penny's regular attack?
I would say to stay behind walls and then, well, of course, if there's no lobber on the other team, stay behind a wall, and when you see an enemy coming towards you, you pop around the wall real quick, take a shot or two, and then go back behind the wall so that they can't hit you. And if you see targets lined up, then definitely go for a shot.
Okay, I like that. That's actually a really important skill that I learned with Penny is just like you get behind that wall and you just poke out, shoot a shot, and then go back and you just use that wall as your protection kind of.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so what about her super? We kind of talked about her turret positioning and things like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely going back to what you said earlier about the more defensive and more offensive mortar placements, those are very important. And if you really are in desperate times and you need to place the mortar as a shield, you can do that. And her star power can also help you with that too. If you're fighting a brawler up close and you need to put down your turret as a shield, then it'll tank maybe 2 shots, 3 shots so that you can get the finish off on them.
Maybe
And
like
the
a
star
Bull,
power might also.
maybe like a Bull or a Daryl.
Yeah.
Just not other Pennies, right?
No, definitely not.
See, I think that's my problem. I'm just like, oh shoot, defensive tower. And then it's like, oh shoot, why did I do that? That was stupid. So you did mention also kind of using her star power in that regard. Are there any other times where you just like, because sometimes you can just place down another turret so that your star power will, so that your turret will explode and deal more damage. Do you ever like do that on purpose? Like somebody's kind of walking close by and you just like throw down another turret so it will explode by them, kind of like a remote activated mine type of a thing?
Yeah, sometimes I do, and it's very useful sometimes, but Penny's star power is really, really unreliable.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll throw a turret up ahead, like if we need maybe 1 more kill and bounty, and usually the enemy team will take it out, and sometimes they can get that kill. And plus, in like GG Corral, going back to like what I said on that, if you throw a mortar on the safe, the mortar can actually hit the safe, and sometimes the star power will hit, giving you that extra 1 or 2 shots, which can take out the safe and win you the game.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about counters to Penny, okay? What counters Penny?
I'd say her main counters are definitely Piper and Brock, because both of their supers can break walls and take out Penny's turret very, very easily. And the range is longer than her, and they deal much more damage than she does.
Okay, I like that. So one question that I have for you, and this is something that a lot of people, maybe a little bit lower in trophies, might ask, is what about brawlers? They're like close range brawlers, like a Bull or something like that. Like Penny does not do a ton of damage, and it takes a lot of hits for her to take out an El Primo. I think it's 6 or 7 hits to take out an El Primo. Is he a counter to Penny, or what's your take on that?
I'd say if you're not playing it very smart and you just walk into bushes without making sure that no one's in there, then definitely they can be a counter to you. But if you know where each brawler is and you can like tell what bushes they're in, then usually they aren't a problem.
Okay, so they're not a counter as long as you have good map awareness then.
And you're playing very smart.
Okay, and by playing smart, what do you mean exactly? Like, other than checking bushes, what are you talking about there?
Just like using your teammates to help you just definitely check bushes and stay away from areas you know that a brawler could be hiding.
Okay, I like that. That's very good. So, okay, Brock, Piper, not so much those close range brawlers. So which brawlers is Penny a good counter against?
Penny is very good against any brawler that spawns something in, which is Nita, Jessie, Pam, and other Pennies, because using the splash attack is one of the best things you can do. Like, Pam's healing station is pretty much completely useless. If you can get up against it, and you can just take a couple shots, you can either kill the brawlers on it or take out the healing station.
Yeah.
Along with, like, Jessie and Nita and Penny, because they can't use their bear or turrets to body block anymore, because the Pierce just will completely destroy them.
Let's also talk a little bit about the other couple of gem carriers, because you mentioned Piper, and she's definitely a gem carrier, kind of off meta, but she is a gem carrier. You also mentioned like Jessie and Penny and Pam, but what about like Poco or Bo? Poco's pretty meta, but Bo's not so much meta. But how does she interact with those two brawlers? Who counters who, and what goes on there?
I'd say with Poco, you have to keep your distance, and just because you can keep your distance and stay out of his range, usually Penny's a good counter to Poco. The same thing with Bo. Even though he has good range, usually he doesn't hit all 3 of his shots, so staying out of his range is very, very good. Okay.
Very cool. And then what about some tips for playing against other Pennies?
So against other Pennies, definitely don't use your mortar. That's one thing you don't want to do.
As a defensive... Wait, you're not supposed to use it as a defensive tower?
As a defensive tower, no.
Oh, shoot, okay.
If the Penny's, like, far away, though, then, yeah, you can put that down. But if they're getting close to you, definitely don't do that. Also, use those walls and just pop out behind the wall every once in a while and take a shot or 2.
So one thing that I've noticed, at least in really competitive matches when I'm up to playing as Penny and there's another Penny, it seems to be that the brawler that doesn't take advantage of those walls is usually the one that loses. Like, they just go straight in the middle and go right for the gems. Whereas the person that does stay back behind those walls and kind of uses it to pop some shots out and things like that, they tend to do better. Do you feel like that's just something that I just happened to stumble on and it's not really true? Or do you think that that's like solid advice for somebody wanting to really get good with Penny?
I think that's definitely solid advice, because she does such little damage and she has not too much health. Walls are definitely something useful to blocking shots and keeping her alive.
So what you're saying is I'm actually not half bad.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, whatever, Kairos. That's awesome. Okay, Melanto, thank you very much for jumping on here as a first-time pro on the channel. Before we go ahead and end this, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
I'd say the main 2 people that helped me with this are Pierre and Little Dinosaur. They were incredibly helpful people, and they helped me push so much.
Awesome. Very good. Hey, well, thank you very much for jumping on the channel. And guys, if you do have any other questions about Penny, make sure you drop them in the section below. Maybe Melanto would be willing to even read through and maybe answer some questions. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll stop by and answer some.
Okay, cool. Yeah, do that. Like your favorite questions. That was spur on the moment, so a little bit of pressure on him, but he'll be there, guys. Anyways, appreciate all of you guys' support. Let me know in the comment section below which brawlers you want to see some pro interviews in the future, and I will definitely consider those. For now, this is Melanto and KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.